Hi, Datuk. Tan Sri, sorry. Just on the Tawar cluster, Tan Sri.
Yes.
You mentioned today that the mutation is seen in Tawar and there could be a link between Tawar and Sivaganga. Just wondering, is it the same index case, the restaurant owner, and has the ministry determined the cause of infection? And another one on Tawar, which is we realize many children in this cluster. I think when we counted, it's 21 children in Tawar cluster. And we know that COVID-19 has a very severe impact on immune systems. So wondering if that could be a cause of concern for especially the children. Yeah.
All right, thank you very much. So from the genomic sequencing, we managed to find that the cluster from the Tawar and the demutation from the Tawar and the PUI Sivaganga is the same. So, but we have not found epidemiology link. So now we need to investigate which patient, for example, have a link to the Sivaganga group. But the virus is the same virus, the same mutation. So that's what we have found from our lab. So it's still ongoing because 14 samples have been sent. So 4 samples we got the report. But what is more important, we know that if there's a mutation of D614G, that means the infectivity is high. So nonetheless, in terms of action plan, in terms of our public health intervention, remains the same. So what we need to do is step up our public health intervention. And as you can see, that for the last 16 days, we do not have any cases from PUI Sivaganga because of our rapid public health action. So now we need to focus on this group in Kluster Tawar. And as some of the issues that we raise here is that it's not in one confined locality. So we are aiming on the targeted group. So we also have found that in one area that we are going to impose on the enhanced MCO administratively. So we hope that that will contain the infection. Nonetheless, today we do not have any cases from the cluster from Tawar. So we hope that our public health action will manage to address the issue. Second is with regards to children, yeah. So at the moment, yeah, we do know that 21 children are positive from the total of 73 positive cases. But none of the children have been admitted into the ICU or for treatment. So which means in terms of they are susceptible to infection, there's no doubt about that. But in terms of the spread or even severity of the infection, they are still treated in our hospital. So we are monitoring them closely. We hope that they are able to recover from this infection. And as you can see that our recovery rate is very good. And even looking into the fatality, there's no children that have been succumbed to the virus infection. Plus, in terms of the recovery rate, it's very high, almost 96.8 or 97%. So we hope that most of them will recover in time.
Some countries have seen a link between Kawasaki disease and type 1 diabetes in children that have been infected with COVID-19. I was just wondering if we've seen this in Malaysia.
I think the Kawasaki disease, as far as we are concerned, that it happens in children, but we have not seen in our patient. More importantly is that it's because of the rashes as well as the vasculitis. And as I said before, this virus, there are 3 main complications. One is the lung, affecting the lung and then causing pneumonia and etc. Second, the virus attacks the endothelial of the vessel, so causing vasculitis and even shedding inflammation in the vessel, endothelial region, and that causes stasis and then the surge of platelets and etc. Then clots formation. So the clots formation has been reported. We have seen in our post-mortem cases as well, especially the young, in the 30s and 40s, and you do the post-mortem, the clots formation. We have seen clots formation in the iliac artery, in the renal artery, and even in the mesenteric artery, causing ischemic carditis, renal failure, and so as well as a heart attack if it's in the heart, as well as stroke if it's in the brain. So there's a lot of complication with regards to the clots. And then third is actually the immune response. The immune response, as far as you are concerned, that when you start to have a virus infection, you get the IgM first, and then you're followed by the IgG. Usually IgG will last a long time, but we realize that after 8 weeks, there's a decrease in the IgG. from our study in one of the group infected in a school that we looked into the serology test, the IgG, we only found about 20% after 3 months. So from reports from China and other countries, only 17% of IgG reported after 3 months, which means that they can get a reinfection again, the possibility of reinfection, because you do not have the antibody to fight the virus. And also there's a lot of question with regards to the vaccine, but we do not know the response of the vaccine until we have the data to substantiate the facts. So these are some of the findings that we have, and we hope that we'll continue to do serology tests in terms of the antibody response in our patient that's been infected. So we are following them closely every 3 months, and then we'll see some of them volunteer for the blood for us to study.